Have you ever watched someone try to command a room through sheer volume, mistaking the space they take up for respect? Perhaps you have felt it in the exhausting culture of a workplace, where climbing the ladder feels like a harsh competition, or in social circles where confidence is too often confused with dominance. We are constantly told that to be successful, we must be fiercely competitive, loud, and constantly defending our position at the top of the pyramid. We even borrowed a phrase from the wild to justify this exhausting way of living: the alpha wolf. But what if the very creature we used to build this myth could actually teach us how to dismantle it? What if we have been looking at them all wrong, and in doing so, making our own lives infinitely harder than they need to be? Imagine a snow-covered forest in the quiet depth of winter, where a group of wolves is moving steadily through the frost. If you watch them closely, without the filter of our human assumptions, you will see a rhythm of profound gentleness. In the wild, a wolf pack is rarely a group of strangers competing for the top spot. It is, quite simply, a family. It's made up of parents, their older offspring from previous years, and the newest generation of pups. The ones we have mislabeled as alphas are merely the mother and the father. Their leadership is not established through violence or fear. It is established through caregiving, experience, calm confidence, and a relentless commitment to the well-being of their young. They are the ones who decide when it's time to rest, and they are the ones who wake first to ensure the perimeter is safe. When they hunt, they don't eat first to prove their dominance. They often step back, allowing the growing pups to take the first share of the meal. The lesson these wolves offer us is quiet, but it is revolutionary. True leadership is not a platform for ego, but a deep and enduring responsibility to those around you. In the pack, authority is not something you seize by making others small. It is something you are granted because you make others feel safe. The most respected wolves are the ones who possess a quiet yet unshakable confidence. They don't waste their precious energy on unnecessary aggression. They lead by example, by sharing their lived experience, and by fiercely protecting the vulnerable. Think about the spaces you navigate every day and the immense pressure we place on ourselves to project absolute control. How often do we put on a hardened armor, believing that vulnerability is a liability? How many times have we exhausted ourselves trying to win an argument, just to prove we are in charge, when what we really craved was connection and mutual respect? The wolves offer a deeply relieving alternative. They show us that you don't need to be intimidating to be deeply influential. The parent wolves guide their families across hundreds of miles of unforgiving terrain, not by snarling, but by walking ahead with steady purpose and trusting that the others will follow, because the relationship is built on a foundation of absolute trust. They play together, they sleep curled against one another for warmth, and they reinforce their bonds through affection rather than strict discipline. Pause for a moment and think about the people who have most profoundly shaped your own life. Think of the mentors, the caregivers, or the friends who truly helped you grow. Chances are, they didn't lead you through fear, and they didn't demand your submission. They led you by making you feel seen. They walked ahead when the path was confusing. They stood beside you when you needed a companion, and they stepped back to let you find your own footing when you were ready. They were practicing the truest form of wild leadership. Ask yourself where in your life you might be carrying the heavy and unnecessary burden of the alpha myth. Where are you confusing control with respect? Where might you be raising your voice when what the situation actually requires is your quiet and steady presence? Where can you trade the exhausting performance of dominance for the grounding practice of simply caring for your pack? We don't have to live our lives fighting for the top of a hierarchy that nature itself doesn't even recognize. We can let go of the idea that kindness is weakness and that empathy is a disadvantage. So the next time you feel the pressure to toughen up, to dominate, or to prove your worth through force, remember the wolves. Remember that the most powerful thing you can be is a safe harbor for the people around you. You don't need to bare your teeth to the world to prove you belong in it. You only need to find your pack, share your warmth, and lead with an open heart.